Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Because I just went gay all of a sudden.
Paps Blue Ribbon!
I'm Charles Foster Kane.
Snap out of it! Ahoy, sexy!
It's showtime, folks.
What's up, Criteria Cats? You are listening to the Criteria Cast, the only podcast about the Criterion Collection that matters. Today we are discussing one of my favorite films, Jacques Tati's surrealist comedy and satire, Playtime. I'm your host, Gabe.
I'm your other host, AJ.
Oh, and today we're joined by maybe one of our best guests that you've never seen before, Deckard.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is great because we double checked that we're recording this time. Deckard is he was part of one of probably our better podcasts that is just lost to the sands of time.
The famous Lost episode.
The Lost episode, yeah. Man, that was a shame. But we got this one to make up for it.
I think we should start improvising what we talked about. Because no one's ever gonna hear it. We can just build on it. The Lost episode. Oh, we really fix things.
Yeah, no, Deckard proposed a solution to the capitalist society, and it's just lost.
Yeah,
I mean,
Israel and Palestine would be best buddies if that episode had been released. But
yeah,
sadly,
it really was. It was the key, just like Lois. It was the key.
Lois is the key. All right, so this is Criteria Cast. Deckard, what's your
I like the new
relationship?
name.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun, it's flirty, it's ready for spring. But what's your relationship with the Criterion Collection?
My mother gave me her Criterion Collection password a couple months ago, and this is the first time. No, I used Amazon for this one, so I didn't even use it for this. I haven't used it yet, but I know of it. I've seen the Blu-rays.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say your mom had a full Criterion Collection.
No,
I was
no.
you need to run through that. So
I've seen a couple here and there, but not I wasn't seeking out the Criterion.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that I know you're a personal fan of that is in the collection. But yeah, today we're talking about Playtime. Deckard, you said you hadn't seen it before?
I have not. I knew almost nothing about it I watched it just a couple hours ago, so it's really fresh in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I was expecting something. In my head, I was picturing toys with Robin Williams. I don't know why. That was the vibe I was expecting. And it definitely was not that.
Like a super obvious satire, blown out of proportions.
Well, I thought Playtime was going to be toys and stuff. I have no idea. I thought it was going to be a toy factory.
Oh, you thought it was literally going to be a toy factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
See, if I was expecting that and then 10 minutes in I hadn't gotten a single toy, I'd be pissed. So
well, 10 minutes in, I don't know that I had a single, I don't know that we knew anything.
No, yeah. You're just people walking down hallways with the loudest footsteps ever.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I was going to say the loudest footsteps.
Now the mixing on this entire project is kind of it was intentional, but still an odd choice for a lot of characters to make them stick out.
Right.
Well, it's there's zero dialogue and cacophony of Foley work. Every time someone sits in a chair, it's louder than any time they talk.
But it's still so individividualized. You hear it doesn't just sound like a mess of noise. It's okay, that's the newspaper here. That's the this and that. It's
but for those of you at home who don't know what Playtime is, let's briefly kind of go over it. I was gonna say the plot, but there's no fucking plot to this movie. Let's not even try. There's even on the Wikipedia plot summary, it just says there are vignettes. So I'm not being a dummy when I say there's no plot. But
no, I mean it's very intentionally a movie that doesn't give you a central character or narrative to follow. It just gives you AJ said, vignettes that you can choose to engage with whatever characters are present in that vignette, and it very fluidly moves from one to the next, and you're just kind of voyeuristically looking at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm a voyeur and I got some weird freak fetish, but I just like watching people.
It did feel like that, especially the way it was shot so wide. You really felt like you were, not to be corny, but you really felt like you were in that setting, you were in an airport or whatever.
Yeah, there's
You
nothing like super guiding the eye, so you can just pick anywhere in the frame and look at it because most of the stuff is just background noise. Like I started watching this on fucking 123 movies because I'm a criminal, and then
Oh, I was the same movie
well,
premise, yeah.
no, I didn't finish. It ended up not having
The
captions for it, and I was
sound.
like, well,
Yeah.
shit. Oh, I gotta watch it with captions, and then I bought it on Amazon about 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, that was completely unnecessary.
It's the worst. Yeah, this is the one movie that no dialogue has ever mattered in.
Yeah,
Like,
every single line is totally inconsequential. Like, no, it builds the world, but you're not gonna,
yeah,
not
right.
understand what's going on any more than if you were just watching it with the sound off, which, keep the sound on because it's got great Foley work alone.
Almost no music until the end. Obviously, there was
yeah.
Yeah.
the band and whatnot, but
No, this movie's very it's very sterile. It has a lot of sterile elements, and it's this weird juxtaposition between like letting you choose who you're interacting with on the screen, but never actually like welcoming you to a narrative. I don't know. This movie is very odd. It's kind of like a
It's like, have you two ever seen Nashville, the Robert Altman movie from the 70s?
I
I
haven't no.
haven't.
So that's very similar to this. It's more like in your face. It's all these stars like Jeff Goldblum and a lot of 70 stars, Elliot Gould. But it's very similarly like there's no line of dialogue that's really consequential to the plot. Like it's all just background to build the world. You follow like 25 different characters. It's just a bunch of series of vignettes. And whereas that one's like, a drab southern town in the 70s, this is like the most heightened sets for an office building imaginable. Like everything's
Yeah.
gray, but it's so colorful somehow at the
Yeah.
same time.
No. I mean, this is one of the only films that I got introduced to, except for like M as well, in like an
Oh, that's
international film class.
Oh,
And I
you've
was
already
like,
seen
oh,
M, Gabe?
I've seen I only saw the parts I needed to see to like ace quizzes and like write an essay.
That's coming
that.
up.
I
on
That's
know.
the one with the child predator, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Kinder murder.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. It's the dude who did Metropolis.
Yeah, Fritz Lang.
Fritz Lang, yeah.
Yeah, that's like 3 episodes from now. We'll be talking about M, so we'll
Yeah.
save that for the M talk. But
That's one of those movies I don't know I don't know if I've seen it or if I've seen things like about it and then it just like, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, well, maybe.
if you haven't, watch it again. It's a fun movie. It's I don't know if you guys just know the general premise, and we'll talk about this in the actual episode. I fucking love M. It's one of my favorites. He's a child murderer who then the actual like criminals, the underground criminals of the town get fucking sick of because he's making cops break down more of their criminal ring, so they decide that they're gonna catch the child murderer themselves. It's just like a bunch of criminals that just all go after this one guy, and it's Peter Lorre looking the chubbiest he's ever looked. Like he's just got big cheeks. They're just chasing him around the
Lorre.
town.
That name sounds super familiar.
He's like,
Dr.
Frankenstein.
Okay. Igor.
He's like that. I don't think he ever actually played Igor, but every interpretation of Igor is just Peter Lorre.
Gotcha.
If you've seen Looney Tunes, you've seen Peter Lorre.
There were certain points in this movie I need like Subway Surfers on the bottom to like
to stay engaged, like a clip of Family Guy to the side.
Right? Yeah.
No, this movie, I think it both benefits and then it's hindered by its long shots because, I mean, every scene is just like either a dynamically moving to the next like vignette or like setting, and again, you're not welcome to like directly engage with a protagonist. So you're just like, okay, so if this scene doesn't interest you, it's so easy to just like drift off.
Yeah,
like,
I need to get like a phone locker for myself. I gotta
Yeah.
hold myself accountable, this would have been great to see in a theater with like surround sound and a big picture where it's like, oh, I am actually in an elevator. The
I don't know
magic
about
of the
this-
movies.
So I have some nice headphones. When you put those in and listen to the audio, it just blows your fucking ears out. So the surround sound would fuck you up, I feel like.
I'd fall asleep. I'd be out.
Dang.
Take acid and microdose working in an office.
So were you just like not drawn in by the setting? Or?
No, okay. So the beginning, like the first 40 minutes, I was super drawn in, and maybe like the last 30-40 minutes as well. I loved. But
Yeah.
there were some parts in the middle where I kind of lost focus. I didn't go on my phone or anything, but I stopped really thinking about it.
This
fair,
movie
yeah.
really does encourage just like daydreaming, kind of spacing out. Because I'm not just like boring Twitter. I was watching it, and even then, still, I was like, oh, I haven't really like thought about it because it's just so kind
Right.
of relaxing too, just ambient noise. It's literally like ASMR the movie.
No, I mean, I mean, so I guess a little bit of trivia is that this entire set was built, like very meticulously for all these scenes, and yeah, I mean that gray, that subdued gray, and very like voyeuristic glass everywhere is it has this really weird like calmness about it. Despite, I would have so much anxiety if I lived in the background setting that AJ has. If people just look in my window every night, but there's something so charming about seeing people living their lives and like slice of life aspect to this movie where you're just like, oh, that's very pleasant. You're just seeing people be people.
Which, like, that's definitely not the overall intention, is to make this look like a pleasant, oh, this is the
No,
world we
no,
want.
it's not. This is definitely a satire, but again, in some way, it's charming. I don't know. This movie is filled with juxtaposition, in my opinion.
I I loved that. I feel like a lot of sci-fi and just dystopian kind of futuristic things of the 60s and 70s. Was this 70s or 60s?
This
Right in
was
the cusp.
60s.
Yeah.
60s. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what's always like, oh, what if technology was evil? And this is like, what if technology made old people do silly stuff?
Yeah.
What if old people
yeah.
didn't get it? Yeah.
What if technology led to bits?
Well, yeah, it's also just like the absurdity of like a very like hyper consumeristic society where it's like you have all this really weird these weird gadgets in this like highly designed world that's just absurd.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
also a critique of how this is just what the world is now, a giant office building with ugly ass gray walls around it. They have the posters for the different places you can travel, and they're just the same
Right.
building. Like one of them's blocking the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when she opens the door and it's in the reflection, there's like a poster of the Eiffel Tower. Is that what you're?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. So very, very anti-work. Work sucks. It's a real work sucks movie.
I agree with that.
I'm just imagining a poster for this, like the tagline "Work sucks."
If it was like a 2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it stars like
Work
Dax Shepard.
sucks. Yeah, exactly.
Playtime with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh God.
He's just like doing his Deadpool shtick throughout the office.
Rob Schneider is the architect.
Dude, that last scene though, that last like 30 minutes before like the the credits went pretty hard. There's like a 42-minute.
I loved it when all the shit's just like falling down on
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, one building to the joke. It's just the longest build to that last joke. It's just everything is so precise, and like we've made it so that everything is aligned and this is the most efficient way to live, and then it all just crumbles down anyway.
Right.
It's like, why not have some style?
Well, that, and there's also that fucking like facade where it's like no one knows what they're doing. Everything's falling apart. People are like completely like shirking their duties.
Everyone's just getting in line, copying someone else. Every building
Yeah.
looks the same. Every person's wearing the same thing.
All the
There's
cars are exactly the same. If you notice,
Yeah.
it's the same
Yeah.
model.
Yeah.
Like when at the end when all shit's falling down, it's like, here, you're the architect. He just passes it to the high waters guy. Yeah.
Well,
There's
I
like
know-
even the whole confusion with the what is ostensibly the main protagonist, the director
Ulock,
Jacques Tati.
yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Even that he gets mistaken for someone else. Like it's another guy in a scarf.
yeah.
It shows like
Well,
even your
right.
heroes are all the same.
It's just it's I don't know, it's scathing and it's great. And if in on multiple reviewings you'll see like little weird details, like there's a thief in that ending scene that's just taking shit. He wears a black leather jacket. He's just walking around in the kitchen taking wires, taking
That's funny.
supplies.
I
And
didn't
it's
notice
just-
that at all.
Yeah,
Well,
there were.
yeah, it just illustrates how absent-minded everyone is and how everyone's just like faking it till they make it, and
Like,
everything's falling apart around them.
And you can watch any person on the screen and they will do a full like scene there. It's not, there's no extras, just like oh, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Like they all have something they're doing. They all feel real. There was a Letterboxd review that was like, this is Where's Waldo if everyone was Waldo.
This would be so hard to make today, just with the fact that aren't extras like not allowed to talk?
Depends on whether they get paid a higher amount or not. Like
Gosh, yeah, it'd be
there's
much more expensive to do this.
Oh yeah, no, you make literally just minimum wage as an extra. I was an extra for a couple months.
Oh, what
Um,
were you in?
I was in a Winning Time,
Yeah.
rap shit, and some Apple Plus show I can't remember the name of.
Oh, that's awesome. My girlfriend's friend was in the new Joker too. She was the
God
background
damn it!
guy.
Oh, I wanted to be that
She
so
got kicked
fucking
off set.
bad.
She got
She got
kicked off
kicked off.
set. Yeah.
What? For what?
I think she was either like trying to like talk to Lady Gaga or was getting too close to Lady Gaga or something.
Oh, that's
Damn.
awesome. We need to get your
And
friend.
Sarah, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get her on the podcast because that's our kind of folk.
Yeah,
Someone who
I'll
gets
hit her-
kicked
I'll
off
hit
the
her up,
Joker
yeah.
2 set.
Yeah.
The working title was Juliet. Like I knew people. I talked to people who were on the Joker 2 set, and I was like, I'm so fucking jealous of you. I wanted to get on Joker 2 and Young Sheldon. Those are my Waterloos.
Okay. Controversial opinion. Maybe not. It's because it's had like 15 seasons. Young Sheldon is I can fucking watch that show so hard. I can sit down and watch that show.
All right,
Like,
we're
I
gonna need to
did, yeah.
need to
Yeah.
devote like 20 minutes just to let you cook. Like sell us on Young Sheldon.
Yeah. Pitch us on Young Sheldon, please.
It's just fucking. It's like it feels just like the type of shows that you see on like TikTok with like Subway surfers running underneath. Like it's that kind of fucking show, but it's just like mental, just like I don't know. It's just like feeds you exactly what you want. I love that fucking show.
Is it like is it like the same sensation when you play like Candy Crush where you're like, I know
Exactly. Yeah, it's
every
super.
level.
There's like it's like Coco Melon. Like it's just like
it's adult Coco Melon.
yeah.
It's
one
that
for
channel
me
you
at
turn-
least.
It's the
like-
channel you turn on to make sure your dog doesn't shit on the floor.
Dude, imagine. I don't know, man.
I'd never really watched Big Bang Theory, but my dad was just watching Young Sheldon when I was fucking over there in Sweden a couple months ago, or I guess probably about a year ago now. But he had it on, and I was just like, damn, like this is fucking good. And I was never like a Big Bang Theory person, but I was like, this is what's up.
So it
He
was
just like me for real.
Was Young Sheldon on TV, or did your dad like find a way to stream Young Sheldon?
No, it was on. It was on TV. It was just like,
Okay.
on for hours, and we just sat there. And
Was it like dubbed? Like did they?
no Swedish TV. Like if it's English, it's English. They just put like
Okay.
Swedish subtitles on the bottom.
I'm just imagining like a young Sven or something.
There are a lot of like Garfield is Gustav.
Well, like I feel like most of the countries like in that hemisphere of the world are like smarter than us because like my cousins who are German just speak perfect English.
Yeah, no, we've been thinking about going over there to move there, and it's just so presumptuous to be like, well, they all speak English.
Yeah. I mean, you pick up some Swedish if you go there. So
but
you
like,
can't help it.
My 11-year-old cousins have better English than the 11-year-olds I teach it.
Dude, so
yeah.
true.
I hope they're not listening to this.
R.I.P. to these kids. I'm
They can't
worried.
read subtitles. They wouldn't watch this movie.
The kids they don't draw pictures. They draw memes. Like I was doing sidewalk chalk because we're just drawing memes.
Dude, so I think like we're pretty fucked because we were like 14, 15 when we got memes. These kids are gonna be insane.
I have like second graders who will like sing like TikTok songs or like things that are like not like why do we like I don't know. It's just
They just know like 20 seconds of a song from the 80s, you know?
No, yeah. Anytime you wanna like if you have the aux for some reason, you ask a 6-year-old, hey, what do you want to listen to? They're not gonna say like Moana. They're gonna say some song that's on TikTok.
Right.
There was some song about corn that was recently really big that the kids always wanted to listen to.
Wait, Korn as in Korn the death metal band or Korn like
No, it was like a kid singing about corn because he always take And then it was just like then every company who like has anything to do with corn just like it's like made a TikTok with them,
yeah,
which is like everything,
like
every food ever, it's just made of corn.
If we had a modern Playtime, would it revolve around social media like TikTok time or something like that?
I'd be like people like bumping into each other taking TikTok.
Yeah, that would be a scathing satire.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think satire plays well anymore because like we're too insane.
Yeah,
I've also been talking about this how it's so hard to write comedy about our current times because by the time it comes out, every joke has been made on Twitter.
Yeah. It feels watching shows back, 10, 15 years ago where they would talk about current events, it felt like it wasn't as like cringy, but now it's like they have TikTok and like new Family Guys, they're like, oh, they'll make like a non-binary joke or something. It's like, okay, like that's been on like conservative like Facebook for like
Family Guy should not have existed out of the Bush era. Like they are solely. We should be in Iraq if Family Guy's on TV.
AJ's petition to go back to Iraq to make Family Guy
to make Family Guy good
again. Make Family Guy great again. Go back to Iraq.
Mr. Senator, you don't understand. These jokes are cringe and mid.
This would be a hard Family Guy casting, this movie.
Yeah.
Oh
who would be background person number
I feel
3?
like this one would have to be one of those like back to the multiverse episodes with fucking Brian.
It's all just different versions of Brian and Stewie. We're in the Playtime multiverse, Brian.
I'm surprised that like there hasn't been more references to Playtime in pop culture,
Yeah, it's pretty beloved. Like most of the trivia was again just this is on everyone's top 10 list. Like it was number 23 on the recent Sight and Sound best movies list. So I really haven't seen much representation of it in pop culture. Like The Simpsons, I don't think have ever done a Playtime, and they've done Citizen Kane like 24 times.
You think it's just because it's French and no one really cares?
That's definitely a big reason. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. Like one of my professors is like French, and whenever he's talking about France, I just zone out. So I think that's part of it. I don't think Americans do well with French media. I think we just go. That's where I'm going this summer. It's gonna be a good time.
Okay, yeah.
Wait, Gabe, are you gonna be in France when we watch Before Sunset? Because like that's maybe the most romantic viewing anyone could have of any movie.
Possibly, we'll see. When's it scheduled?
It's like June.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be in France for the Summer of Love.
Where I'm just like basically being spit on by all the women in France. Yeah.
If you're into that. Let's do some production time, which is what I'm calling this segment now. So this film, is famous for its enormous specially constructed sets and background stage, which was dubbed Tatyville after Jacques Tati, the director. And this caused the film's budget to balloon to 17 million francs, which I did the conversion today would be about $33 million. I know, honestly, they're building it up like it was his big flop, like he put all his money into this. I'm like, I don't know.
So contextually, it's important to remember that like French people used to make like films with like literally a camera and 2 random people off the street
and like a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, and a pack of cigarettes. So for them, this was huge. But like for Americans, it's just like, oh yeah, it's
true. I guess compared to like the French cinema of the time, like Breathless or fucking 400 Blows, which is just about a kid in an apartment. Like this,
Red Balloon, yeah.
This is rather extravagant.
Did you guys ever see Red Balloon?
The Red Balloon.
A kid like with he's got like a balloon that's like his friend or some shit. And it's like, and like some French kids like kick his ass, like break his balloon, and then like a million balloons like float in the sky.
Did they kick his ass because of the balloon? Like
I don't know. I think it's like
the balloon.
It's like his friend. Like it's like sentient.
Hmm.
All right, we had it on VHS when I was a kid. I watched it all the time. It was like 15 minutes. It was like the shortest fucking thing.
I can't say I've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I want to now. It just sounds kind of funny. Like
Little Red Balloon. So the budget and other disasters caused this movie to be filmed over the course of 3 years because he would just keep running out of budget and he'd have to take out loans and other stuff that put him in debt. But I was just thinking, God, imagine filming this movie over 3 years.
It's like, no, there has to be more
angles.
More.
God, just being in this mindset for 3 years of a meticulously crafted office building.
No, I think it probably benefited him in like the performance of, or at least the execution, because being in that mindset for 3 years would make you just fucking insane enough to make this like work.
It's gonna make you a little silly, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's a silly, goofy guy going about this modern. I guess it's not modern anymore, but
yeah, it's an attempt. But like, I will say this about the film: ending sequence, pretty shit. That's my hot take. I hated the endings. I've always hated the ending sequence. Not the 42-minute take in the restaurant, but
where they just kind of fucking get into the
Yeah.
buses and just kind of go.
yeah, it's just over, kind of.
I mean, that's how fucking is though. You go to France.
That's the way that
a
fucking
tourist,
goes.
I mean, yeah,
that's
it's
the way
just-
she goes.
I-
Sometimes she
so
goes.
it's like-
That's
Sometimes
life, Gabe.
I can't complain because it's like I can't be like, well, there's no conclusion. There wasn't a story really, but like it just didn't quite,
you need
resonate.
closure.
I didn't even need closure. I just needed something a little more interesting. The whole so they peaked so hard in the 42-minute bit in the restaurant, and then it just was like, okay, well, some more.
They were setting it up for the sequel
on.
spin-off series.
I wish, man.
Tati
I would
Plus.
pay for a sequel. I would pay for a sequel to Playtime. This.
Did you guys wait for the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, it teased
Where
Blue
it's-
Beetle.
Where it's just that like girl who's clearly French and overdubbed with an English accent. It's just her on a plane for 28 minutes.
I was gonna say it looked like when they were speaking English, they just like had them like say English lines, and then had someone who could like actually
Yeah.
speak English go over it.
Yeah.
So like kind of matched
exactly-
up, but like
No, yeah.
wasn't
So that was
quite like Godzilla level. But
it was a French actress that was trying to portray an American, and I think in
She did a good
production they're
job.
like, well, yeah, but like
yeah,
in
she seemed entitled.
Yeah, it's like those old spaghetti westerns where they just had everyone speak whatever language they naturally spoke, and the only way you knew it was your line is if they stopped talking. And then they'd all be like, Bill Carson, he is in Texas.
Have you guys done any Sergio Leone yet, or is that in the Criterion?
I'd have to check if he's in
I don't
it.
know.
I know like his bangers aren't, like the Dollars trilogy isn't, but he probably has some artsy movie that they're like, we deem this one appropriate. So Tati wanted the film to be in color, but looked like it was filmed in black and white, and the predominant colors are shades of gray, blue, black, and grayish white, with green and red highlights. All right, it's color time on CriteriaCast. This is going to be a regular segment where we talk about pretty colors for a while. Yeah, I really loved the use of color in this movie. Like, everything is gray, but not drab. That's impressive, because even for satires that do stuff like this, where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be an oppressively gray and bleak system, it's usually like, yeah, and it also looks fucking ugly, but this was beautiful.
Yeah. It was very vibrant, and I don't know what gave it that kind of like pop, because it was just gray or black suits, and people scoffed when like certain characters wore like green or brown, but yeah, it was everyone was vibrant. I don't know what that was. Yeah.
Well, it was the way they did it is like it's never just pure gray. It's always like a shade of bluish gray or something like that, which is what a lot of cinematographers, especially nowadays, don't understand, is that something can look ugly but good to look at. Like every modern movie just dimly lit, you can't see shit, and it all just looks like a bowl of farts.
I swear, every movie's just darker and darker. I've been saying that.
Did you see the Wicked
Yeah.
promos that came out?
No, like Wicked.
What?
Like,
Yeah, they're making a Wicked movie. Well, they're making two actually. It's
They're making-
two-parter.
Okay.
But yeah, they put out the like first look at the characters, and you can't see shit in either of them.
Also, did you see the promo for like the Little Mermaid? You
Yup.
can't see shit in that either. It's
Nope.
dark as fuck.
Well, my theory is that a lot of the darkness is because the CG just isn't as good as we want it to
Yeah.
be, and so the darker it is, the less you can see it.
Like we're talking about a dystopian like setting, like the dystopian movie, yet our world is somehow more dystopian.
Oh no, I was thinking that. Like, I was like, this is like,
Fun.
Yeah, this is nice, I would
We're-
take this world.
The world's gotten so bad, we're gonna watch like fucking Brazil, just be like, oh, I wish it were me.
Like I look at this world, like I see like this like idea, this like horrible version of France, like horrible in quotations, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. That kind of looks like fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of a
this is-
vibe.
At least it's probably cleaner than real France.
Yeah,
No,
it
definitely,
really
it's
is.
definitely cleaner than real France.
Get their ass.
You guys heard of the something like the Paris effect or whatever, where some people like live their whole lives with this idealization of France. They get so like obsessed with
They have like
going to France.
Ratatouille Paris in their head.
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
go and they go into like a psychosis because it's so fucking disgusting. It's a
No,
real
dude.
thing. You can look it up.
Yeah, it's like No, it's I don't know what people think. It's like France was like it's like a what nearly 1,000-year-old like place. It's like of
She
course it
old.
kind of sucks.
She old, she stanky.
Paris syndrome, a sense of extreme disappointment exhibited by some individuals when visiting Paris, who feel the city was not what they had expected. The condition is commonly viewed as a severe form of culture shock.
I diagnose
awesome.
you with culture shock. I'm just imagining someone getting off a plane, looking at the Eiffel Tower, and throwing up.
Or they just breathe in.
Did you guys catch that in the credits? There was a dude named Jacques Paris, or probably Jacques Perry. That was my first note. Is that this fucking French movie has a guy named Jacques Perry?
Of course, though.
It sounds like a character in like a Japanese fighting game, like the French guy.
Yeah, like that's Steve in America. Yeah, good for Jacques Perry getting work. Tati detested close-ups, considering them crude. He shot in 65mm film so that all the actors and their movements would be visible. Almost the entire film was also dubbed after shooting, and the editing process took 9 months.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, honestly.
I love detesting close-ups, like hating a close-up that much.
Like when I get to he would hate 4K. Like, oh, I can see their pores. Oh my god, back up.
He's watching like Passion of Joan of Arc and just.
He's got like you know what tryptophobia is, like this fear of like holes.
Yeah.
So he looks at somebody with like pores and he just like fucking freaks out.
Yeah. I appreciate it. I appreciate the wide shot nature of it. Not a lot of movies like that where, you know, if you're not fully paying attention to every single second, you'll get the idea. You just look around the frame, kind of live in the world. I appreciate it. This is a real, I get it kind of movie for me. Like, yeah, I get it. I'd write a paper on this. I don't know if I'd watch it on my birthday, but
no, yeah. No, I mean this I will say this about the movie is that it does benefit, like I said this earlier, it benefits from like reviews because or rewatching it because of the wide shot and this like the fucking like plethora of like characters, you always see them doing something new, which adds to that voyeuristic nature of it. I don't know. I'm just basically copy pasting my paper points. Sorry.
You read a whole paper on Playtime?
I wrote a 12-page paper on this movie.
Oh shit! Give us some tidbits. I want to hear.
I mean, it's not so cool. It's not so interesting because a lot of it had to do with like the social goings on of France at the time. There was a serious like.
Give us some context, Gaby.
So like similar to like what was going on in the U.S., there was a very like liberal like young liberal movement in France that was essentially just like, you know, advocating for more social change. There wasn't like the same kind of social rights violations in France because, you know, it's France. You know, they don't let people into France. You know, I don't have to say it.
The big takeaway from this episode is going to be "fuck the French," which was not my intention going in.
No, that's the thing. Like, I think France is perfectly fine, but like, you know,
I feel like we just hate them because they hate us. You know.
What's the thing too? That's what's so odd because they're technically our oldest ally, but like, there's just weird frenemy vibe with France. It's always been pretty persistent.
I do love how quick they are just fucking riot. I think that's real. Just blow some shit.
Yeah, they raised the retirement age 1 year and they're burning down the Louvre.
Yeah, that's awesome. I respect that, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
No, there's a lot of things about France I detest and a lot of things I respect, so it's kind of weird, you know.
They made some good movies.
Makes
this
some good
one
art.
included. The film was a financial failure, but acclaimed by critics upon its initial release, causing Tati to be in debt for several years. It has gone on to be considered one of the greatest films ever made. It was recently voted as the 23rd best film of all time in the Sight and Sound poll, which I mentioned earlier, as well as ranking 43rd on the BFI's list of the 100 greatest films. That's the British Film Institute.
That's crazy that I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like it's like supposed to, I think it's just because this movie is like French. Considered like French. It's French, and two, it's kind of considered pretentious. So
I would think if anyone said like this is their favorite movie, I would think they're pretentious.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why
it was a great movie, but
yeah,
I don't really view this movie as super pretentious. They're having a
No,
silly,
not
goofy
I don't
time
think
with
the
it.
I don't think the movie is
No,
pretentious,
no,
but
no.
if someone told me that's their favorite movie, I wouldn't believe them.
I would think they're kind of a wiener, definitely,
Yeah.
but I'd be like, all right, you know, it's not a movie that's actually bad, but people pretend to like, so whatever, you fucking weirdo. Who likes Playtime as your number one.
Yeah,
Freak.
you watch people, don't you?
Yeah, you guys are really coming at me right now because this is one of my favorite movies. But whatever, dude. Like, I don't care. It's fair. I'll take every criticism because yeah, you have to be kind of a weird voyeur to really like this movie.
You're a big fan of like working class satire, I feel, Gabe, because you also
Oh,
love Triangle
yeah.
of Sadness.
I love Triangle of Sadness. I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
No. Oh, okay,
That one
that's
to
the movie.
watch.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
think
good.
so.
It just came
Yeah.
out last year.
Okay.
It's about a bunch of rich people who get sick on a boat. That's as much as I'm gonna say.
Okay. Yeah.
But Gabe, have you?
I don't like too much going into a movie. It's kind of nice to go in like.
I know I knew jack shit about this. I had seen the one. What is your background, Deckard, of just cubicles, and I was like, okay, I think I kind of get the idea. That wasn't that far off, but yeah. So the goofy time, Gabe. So have you seen any other like work sucks movies like Modern Times or fucking Office Space?
Office. I was just gonna say Office
yeah.
Space.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm also a fan of Office Space. I've seen more clips of it. I haven't actually sat through the entire movie, I'll be honest, but every clip I've seen, I like the satire of it.
You guys seen like I think it's Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, I've seen Sorry to Bother You. That's also very similar.
That movie, when they're the horse people, that shit was nuts.
That's a movie that really wears its satire.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
There's zero chance anyone's gonna
no.
understand what that means. But yeah, that's not a very subtle satire. You know, it's very in your face about it, which can work in satires. I think that's more Triangle of Sadness is pretty in your face. This is not subtle, but it's not like making a point like look here.
Yeah. I like that about this movie is that like it's clearly a satire and you're cued into the idea that's a satire, but that's not really like even the central. There is no central focus to this movie, but that certainly isn't it either.
It really reminded me of Gabe. Have you seen Modern Times? It's a Charlie Chaplin movie.
No, I haven't. No.
It is so fucking similar to this, like just down to the protagonist being a silly dude who kind of happens into situations. But that's also a big work sucks movie.
Is he like fucking around like a work site and that?
Yeah, he like gets that's the one where he goes into the cogs, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I've seen.
Oh, I've seen. I had to watch clips of that for one of my film classes. Actually, I think because I remember. But
I really like it. I like Charlie Chaplin, which my big complaint for this movie is I don't like the protagonist of this as much as
he was too subtle. I wish he was.
He seemed like a real dude. He wasn't doing like the like kind of obvious like this is silly.
So that's Monsieur Hua, and that's basically just France's idea of what Charlie Chaplin's fucking I mean, I guess Charlie Chaplin's what was it called? What's his character called?
It was the Tramp.
Yeah, that's just he's basically France's Tramp, and that's what also I think is kind of cool about this movie is that it's basically just a silent film with sound effects. That's what this is. There's no real dialogue. It's just like you're watching characters kind of do slapstick comedy.
Very like subtle and kind of French comedic slapstick. Like no one's really slipping on a banana peel or falling over because their cane broke. It's like they sat in a chair weirdly.
Yeah, they like had this weird notion that someone was holding a chair for them and they weren't, so they sat down and fell.
That's the most searing French humor is if someone in a suit can sit in a chair wrong.
Yeah, or like one of the funny things. Well, I guess one of the funny bits at the end was that like there was wet paint and everyone had it on their back, so they were all marked. I don't know. There's a lot of funny bits. Give it a chance. I don't know.
I gotta say, I enjoyed the tone. I can't say I thought anything was like personally funny. Nothing really made me laugh. I enjoyed the vibe of it being goofy and heightened, but I was never yucking it up.
I laughed once when he was showing the dude the map on the like marble.
Yeah,
he was like pointing around like where everything goes, and then he took it away, and the drunk dude was still like going on the marble, like acting like there was a.
Yeah, the closest it got was when I saw the posters for the world of the different places in the world you could go. I went, huh. Like I get it. That was very well done.
There's
a joke.
There's
This
a lot of
definitely was like
yucks.
a squad movie. Like not
Oh,
like those kind of
yes.
laughs. Like when
Hey there.
they were doing the door slamming and the whole time the other dude's being loud as shit. So it's like, what does it fucking matter? Like there's
Yeah.
it's not doesn't eliminate noise, it's just like eliminates one. Like I thought that was kind of funny. But again, I wasn't like twirling.
I thought the choice of a German actor was funny for that though.
Mhm.
That was just like some loud German dude who's like quick to anger. I don't know.
They probably still got some German resentment too. Like I'm sure people were busting a gut laughing at the Germans at that point in
Oh
France.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the German was portrayed to be an idiot, so I was like, ha. That's kind of funny contextually. I don't know. This movie, I don't think you're gonna like ever burst out laughing, but I think it just like consistently has like little bits that you'll appreciate. It's a very yucky movie where you're like, ha, yeah, that was clever, or that's a nice callback.
Bravo! It's a real. I see you, Tati.
Yeah, I know. It feels pretentious to like really appreciate it, but I do.
I say this like I'm a fucking
myself.
intellectual peer.
Yo, were you guys not smoking a pipe while you watched this?
That would have increased the vibe.
I feel like if we all got robes and sat down with a pipe and watched this, it'd be a great time.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. They were like, "Oh, look at all this high tech stuff." So like, this is the future, but there's still dudes with like pipes and shit. Like everyone looks like they're in the '60s in France.
Yeah, they're all wearing boxy
There's
gray
like
suits.
buttons on the walls, yeah.
Yeah.
And the buttons, and like there's always panels of like colors and switches and buttons in these movies. They're never fucking labeled.
No, that was the
They're
funny
never
part
labeled,
when
yeah.
like the night watchman or the elevator guard or something
Oh,
goes
yeah.
over. There's like a million buttons, and he just goes and picks the right one.
No, I don't know. I mean, that kind of goes to that 1960s aesthetic of like what technology will be. If you watch like Kubrick's 2001, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the future, and it's like
The
very
production
clearly-
design of the future is still just like a huge wall with a tiny TV in it.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't imagine
So, I don't
flat
know.
screens.
This is Family Guy graphics in 2014.
So yeah,
Bringing it back.
Deckard, you might appreciate this aesthetic, that like nuclear age future, because it's like a very Fallout-esque kind of idea. Because it's like, this is
I
the
was definitely
future.
getting Fallout vibes from this.
Yeah,
Fallout vibe.
Fallout.
Fallout
We talked
vibes.
about that. Me and Deckard used to talk about Fallout a
Fallout
lot,
all the time.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Fallout.
You're welcome to cook on it. I'll just like listen and maybe cut it out after. But
We'll start our own podcast.
Oh yeah. Just like talk. We can just like wait, Deckard. What do you think of 76?
I haven't played it. I don't really want to.
I'm not gonna either. I haven't touched it.
I still pretty much only play New Vegas. Even 4 is just too for me.
Yeah, well, it's the voice acting.
It doesn't look like shitty enough.
It looks nice. Yeah, the world is nice. Yeah, that setting only really benefits from like really fucked up city or really empty desert.
It doesn't make you feel like dirty when you play it. Like New Vegas is like, ew, like
Yeah, there's a snake in my boot kind of vibe,
exactly. Yeah.
But
it looks like shit. Like I feel like I'm actually playing a game that looks like shit. That's what the apocalypse looks like. Not shiny.
Yeah. Also, I don't like the aesthetic that it's like there's grass, but also all the trees are barren.
Right.
It's like pick one. Is it going to be a garden state or not? I
I feel like so many video games now they're like they put so much emphasis into making like, oh well, this looks so real. Like when you first open it, like tricks you into thinking it's a good ass game just because like the nature looks so good. And like, oh,
Yeah. Okay, that was all AJ.
We got it. We got it out of the way.
Has there ever been a first person shooter game where you could murk the president? You guys want to hear some 1-star reviews?
Yeah,
Please. Yeah.
All right, so this is actually half a star. I lied. It comes from Michelle, and she says, "The dumbest shit I've ever saw."
I've ever saw.
That's fucking sad. That might be satire.
This comes from a Will Dupey or Will Dupay. I don't know. I mean, I hate gray now. Clever. This comes from Megan Hart. 2 hours of me being confused and not knowing French. That's kind of like a you problem.
Yeah, right. It's not really confused about. I was confused for a bit because I was like, am I supposed to know? Like, is there deep? Am I not? Do I not get it? Like,
No, that's the one issue with this movie is that it doesn't ever welcome you. It doesn't ever be like it's never like, okay, here you go.
It starts and it ends.
I was
Yeah.
expecting it to. It took me until I got to about 30 minutes in. I was like, maybe even longer. I was like, okay, this is a really artsy intro. Very cool.
Yeah,
They're
it's got
setting
that
in the
shit of
world.
like a drama where they start with
Right.
5 minutes of just quiet world building of the surroundings, and then like a high-priced lawyer comes in, and you
And
meet
it's like
the
they're
protagonist.
world building. They're showing me like the vibe. I'm getting it. And like 30 minutes, like, okay, it's starting to pick up now. I think we got a character. It looks like he's about to do something. He's waiting for like to
A,
talk to
a
someone.
bus. The height of
Yeah.
action in this movie is like a character trips on an umbrella.
And then I got about 40 minutes in. I was like, nah, I guess this is the fucking movie.
Yeah. It's just kind of it never ever like says like it's kind of like it never opens the door for you. It just
Right.
kind of expects you to like walk in. I don't know.
Right.
It's like it's just like I don't know, have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
just watch us go up the wrong way on a flight of stairs. I'm just making. I don't remember if any of this is in the movie, but it feels like it should be.
Yeah.
It could be. It doesn't really matter. That's the whole thing. It could be.
Yeah.
The French would their Charlie Chaplin would like not be like a bumbling oaf. Like I'm probably fucking clumsier than like he was like confused on like where to go, and everyone's like looking at him like he was like Mr. Magoo.
It's really just he's wearing like a dumb hat, and kind of lost. That was like their game for that physical comedian. It was like, all right, you're not sure if you go left or right.
Right.
I feel like French are like, well, man, what a fucking idiot! This guy's so goofy. He's just kind of the guy that's a little bit clumsy.
It's like look at his dumbass outfit. Like, like he looks. I thought he looked good. Like
Yeah, he has a coat and a scarf. Everyone else is wearing a boxy gray
no,
suit.
he does have a bow tie on.
Oh,
That's
freak.
What a
he's got
fucking-
like you can see his ankles, and he's
Yeah.
not wearing black. Yeah,
Yeah, true. His socks are kind of wacky, but
Yeah.
other than that,
it'll just be like a regular outfit now.
yeah, it'd be your going outfit now. There-
So is it criteria? What's this Criterion? Criterion.
Yeah, the
Club?
Criterion collection.
Criterion.
Criterion
No,
Club.
what's the new podcast name?
It's CriteriaCast.
CriteriaCast. I'm sorry, I forget. Are CriteriaCast and Stupid Babies are those two different podcasts now?
Stupid Babies
Nah.
is kind of like our dead name now. Like we're the same, basically same format, but now we talk
So-
about
I like
good
to-
movies.
I like this.
Do you still do anything that's not in the Criterion, or are you just doing Criterion?
We'll do
No.
every once in a while if there's like a movie that comes out that we like. We're
Right.
doing an episode on Barbie, regardless of what.
Right. Oh,
anyone
I'm so
wants.
excited. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
that was a must. Joker 2, whenever that comes
Joker
out, like
2,
that's gonna get a full 4 hours devoted to it.
Well, just
I would if people haven't already RSVP'd, I would love to be on Joker.
I'll put your name
Oh,
on the
yeah.
schedule. It's not coming out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
another year, so
Right.
Wait, did it get delayed? I thought it was coming out sooner.
I don't know. They need time, man. You can't just rush it.
Yeah, you gotta fucking, gotta cook on that one for a little bit. It's gonna be a gem. I was gonna say, like, I like
What
to
if
think
Joker 2 is the one that actually causes like a mass shooting? Not Joker 1, but
Well, what if like Joker 2 causes like Lady Gaga's fans to like become
yeah, it's like
these
Lady Gaga.
extremists?
It turns out the real
Little
thing was
monsters.
Little
Yeah,
monsters.
the little clowns. We can like, I don't know. Like, what's a good like name for Harley Quinn's followers? Like the little puddins.
Honestly, Little Monsters probably works.
Little
Oh,
monsters.
yeah,
does
because
work
Daddy's
as well.
Little Monster too.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, yeah.
lateral move for Lady Gaga, just going from pop icon to the clown prince of crimes.
Okay,
Secondhand.
here's something. Do you think we'll see as many Lady Gaga Harley Quinn costumes as we do as we
Absolutely.
did when
No,
when-
I'm
I don't
saying
think so.
absolutely, dude. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah,
I don't
the,
think so.
the stands are gonna be out. It's such a simple costume already. It's like a red jacket with a ska shirt underneath. Like it's so easy to do. It's such an iconic performer and
I don't know.
actor.
I don't think it'll top. I don't think it'll top the amount of Suicide Squad Harley costumes.
Well, it's a different crowd that's going to be dressing
True.
up as these two
True.
versions of the character. Much like the character itself having a deep lore and backstory, the people who put on these Halloween costumes are also very,
Right.
So I have a different take. I think just so incels have no self-awareness, so they're really eager to dress up like the Joker. I think the only people that are going to want to dress up like this Harley Quinn are femcels, and I feel like femcels are smart enough not to show up.
Femcells.
Yeah,
Femcells.
I feel like femcels are smart enough not to like oust themselves. You know?
No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's not gonna be them. It's gonna be like Lady Gaga stans who just like need a last minute costume. They go to a thrift store, they find a red jacket
I
and some
still
white face
think
paint.
I still think they want to be hot, and they're gonna go with like the whole like Margot Robbie look, like Deckard was saying. Like you're gonna look like an incel if you wear that costume.
Stem cells.
Those are fetuses
Gotcha.
who can't get any stem cells.
The new stem cell movement.
Just people in like the science field who can't get laid. Stem cells.
We need ladies in stem cell. Yeah.
Lady-
Or no, it's women instead, not
Women
fucking
in
ladies.
Ladies! Hello, ladies!
AJ, delete that. That's a note for future me. Let's do some trivia time. So the elaborate set had its own roads, electrical systems, and a fully working elevator.
Yeah, he was kind of batshit crazy about his set. That was
Yeah,
absurd.
that is insane. I was expecting there to be like, and a bowling alley, and a high school.
Honestly, he had that whole roundabout made too, that weird road he had made. It's like he had so many scenes that were like super unnecessary, and like I think the restaurant was fine. All the office buildings were fine. The elevator is a little weird.
Well, the whole
But,
time
like-
I'm like, damn, Francis really used to look like this because I figured they just shot in the street like
No.
normal people.
I thought a lot of
No.
it was just like paintings in the background.
Yeah,
That's
some
what I
of it
assumed a lot of
was.
it was.
I think a lot of it was to save cost.
Yeah,
They
all
look
the
good,
buildings, all those buildings are not real in the background, but every interior is completely built, which is weird.
There was one part where I thought, and this could have just been me, I thought they were using like mirrors or some shit to like make it like look to like appear like a larger space.
Could
That
be.
have just been
I know they had
Potentially.
cardboard cutouts of extras to
uh,
fill in the space. Yeah.
You can catch one of those in one of the very earlier scenes when he just like when he first gets in the building. You just see a cutout like cardboard guy, and you're like, "What the fuck is that? What is that?" I just figured it was part of the world, but like, yeah, I just thought they had the
Yeah,
weird
we're all just cardboard
people.
cutouts working in a box.
I mean, that is kind of the
Flesh
film.
sacks on a floating rock.
fill my carcass full of hot mud.
Let's do some more thoughts on Jacques Tati's Playtime. Vamp while I look at my notes.
Let's talk about we can talk about
Drop a beat.
okay.
Yo, playtime. Really
Oh,
fun.
Deckard, have you seen Nathan for You or any of that?
I have, yes.
It was reminding me of the episode "Smokers Allowed," where I don't. If you guys listening haven't heard it, it's to get around the smoking ban. He sets it up like it's a live theater performance, and it's just they put curtains in front of a bar and people watch. Just people go around. That's kind of what this movie felt like.
Yeah, no, exactly. What would your premise be if you were to do Playtime 2?
Playtime 2.
Oh,
He's
fuck.
back.
The Playtime ending?
Okay, well, first of all, so I'm assuming Jacques Tati's dead, so it'd have to open on his funeral. They'd have like a Black Panther style funeral for Jacques Tati in their weird gray office building.
No, just Playtime, but it's in Wakanda.
Playtime Wakanda forever.
Yeah, it's like, oh, our fucking booster packs are so silly. Like, our world is changing. Look at these alloys, aren't they?
It like ends with
Ironic,
someone else
yeah.
taking up the mantle of Monsieur Hulot.
In the end, the fucking vibranium, huts still collapse anyway.
I'm so glad that these movies are dying out.
What, you mean the Marvel movies?
Yeah, I think Marvel's heading for an iceberg.
Oh, dude, they've been crashing for a while. Yeah.
Their like main villain is probably gonna go to jail.
Who's that?
Jonathan Majors. He's
Oh
playing.
yeah. Kang.
Yeah, he's playing their new like big baddie, and
Well,
he's just got arrested for.
they'll just pull Kang from like another fucking multiverse.
Yeah,
Wait, what
they're
do
like,
you? Wait, but what do you do?
He like hit his girlfriend in public or something.
yeah, he got arrested for assault, and then his lawyer tried to like show that he was innocent by releasing texts between them, and it's just like so clear that he's manipulating her. He's like, "No, baby, I'm sorry. It was all my fault. I'm sorry." Like that's what all the texts say. He just got dropped by. He just got dropped by his management too.
Woke culture not letting us hit him in public anymore.
We're like woke Conda forever.
I mean, here's my thing, because like all those guys that are like doing those superhero like movie like roles, they're all clearly on steroids. So it's like, what did you guys expect? You got a bunch of fucking like narcissists on steroids.
Yeah,
of course
all
they're gonna
roid
beat the shit
raging.
out of somebody. Yeah, you got a bunch of fucking narcissistic actors, and then you inject them with hormones. Like, chaos is gonna ensue.
Yeah. So imagine that happens to Jonathan Majors. Imagine if you injected like Jared Leto with Chris Evans steroids
Oh, dude, he's just gonna be assaulting everyone
for
within 10-mile radius.
Morbius too.
or Ezra Miller.
Ugh,
Ooh.
get them out of here.
That's
You
yeah,
They need steroids. That'll fix them.
dude. They need.
What if that was they come back? They're no longer a degenerate. They just get super into like lifting and MMA. They do the Logan Paul route, where after they get canceled, they just start fighting.
Oh, is it Logan or the other one?
They
They
both
both,
do it.
yeah.
Oh, okay, dude. What the fuck? People that got into that, I'm so confused. Like people that got
He's
into
fighting
like,
He's fighting Nate Diaz. Jake Paul's fighting.
what the fuck?
He's just
dude?
cherry. He's a dude who has. He is a super athletic guy. He has so much money that he has so much time and
Yeah,
access to the best trainers in the world. That's all he has to do. And then he cherry picks retired MMA fighters who are like so far past their prime and have taken so much damage.
oh yeah. Well,
That's his whole thing.
didn't he just like fight like one of Tyson Fury's little brothers and get his
He
ass
has a
kicked?
half brother. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a kind of close fight, but kind of embarrassingly close. It
Okay.
looked like he lost for sure. I don't know. I don't pay for them, but sometimes I'm
No,
curious
yeah.
enough to watch the stream.
Oh,
Just 'cause I
watch,
want to see him lose.
Yeah, I'll watch like the day after clips where I'm like, okay, who won, who lost? Like with the whole like
Right.
Adesanya fight recently, I was like, I did spring on that one and try to watch the stream, but
I watch every single UFC event. I'm a nerd.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't miss them.
I respect that. But like that, I don't know. I don't ever feel like paying money for a stream.
Oh, I watched them illegal. For legal. I watched them legally.
The
Wait,
feds listening
wait.
to this podcast.
So wait, Deckard, in a hypothetical world, if you were to stream it illegally, where do you stream it at?
And this is how you build a bomb.
I could hypothetically send it to you, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to get it shut down.
Hypothetically, send it to me maybe on Insta.
Yeah,
or-
definitely.
Hell yeah, thank you.
So you guys talking about like Jake Paul and other YouTubers fighting, it made me think like, do you think a movie like this, a searing satire of modern times, would be able to work like just a movie alone? Because there's so much that's easily spoofable in modern society that like if back in the 60s the biggest thing that could spoof is that people go to work in an ugly building. Like imagine how much material there is now.
Yeah, you could totally spoof like do a similar satirical like but subtle. I mean, satire doesn't have to be subtle, obviously. I think it benefits if it is, but like I feel like with the whole influencer thing, I think people try to do it far too like on the nose. I think you could do it subtly in a tasteful way. Like I don't know.
Did you guys see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
Mm-mm.
No, I really want to.
Bodies
Wait,
to the third.
is that the one with Adam Driver and Bill Murray?
No, oh no, that's fucking. I hate that movie. The one you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called.
I haven't seen it yet.
The Dead Don't Die. That movie is a
Yeah.
snooze, and
It's
that
not
movie's
good.
that movie's got a lot of really on the nose satire too. Like Steve Buscemi plays like a Trump supporter, but his hat just says "Make America White Again."
Yeah, okay.
No, what was I talking about?
A rich person in Hollywood's idea of like
Oh, Bodies cute. Bodies Cubed. That was a satire of modern culture, like how everyone lives online and uses TikTok and stuff, but it's like a murder mystery as well. So I don't think you can just do a straight satire. You have to like inject elements of it into other stuff. Like they're always just like, all right, for the TikTok, like so fake, and that's actually a plot point about how people die is like because of their social media. It's not cringe, I swear. Everything I just said sounds so fucking cringe. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not cringe. It's a lot of fun.
It's also it's hard to sell somebody, on
I
like
know,
modern
no, straight up,
satire.
because I remember Noah tried to sell me on Bodies to the Third way back when he saw it, and I was like, nothing you're saying sounds good. And it's right. You can't
I
describe
feel
the
like
movie.
it gets so dated when like it immediately is like, oh my god, when they put in like a fucking TikTok or this.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think
What I
it's-
hate most is when, and they've been doing this for like at least a decade. When they're like texting and they're like shows up on the
Yeah.
screen like when they're texting like, oh my god.
Yeah, and there's really
lazy.
been no way to convey texting on film that is cinematic.
Did you guys see that movie? Oh, sorry, go.
No, you can get like I guess you can get like almost meta satire where you're satirizing the people satirizing, in like social media where you're
That's
like,
just
social
Deadpool,
media is...
man.
No. I meant like that pissed me off that right there. God.
That's freaking Morty, bro.
I mean, you have to have a pretty big IQ to understand.
Fuck yeah. No, I just meant like if you just like ironically were like, social media is really good for you and you'll benefit from being on it all day.
Wubba dub dub.
That's a great response when anyone's describing any movie or TV show. Oh, like Rick and Morty. Yeah,
Fuck.
Okay, yeah, no, like Rick and Morty for sure.
God.
All right, out of 12, what do you guys give this movie?
12. I give it an 11. It's just me though. I think I'm very biased. I like this movie a lot.
I'd give it an 8.5.
I was gonna say 9.
Well, I'll round down then. 8.
Oh, dude, okay, that's mean. That's 66%.
When you guys are
I could go to 7, Gabe.
Do
when
it.
you guys are rating a
I
movie,
fucking
like,
dare you.
out of 10, is 5? Is that 50%? Is that like an F to you, like
That is
grade wise,
to me.
or is it? See, to me, a 5 is like that's average. 5 is
5
like,
is
that's-
mid.
Yeah,
That's-
just a completely average.
Any movie that I just don't have an opinion on is 5. I just be like, whatever. I don't care. I saw it. Like, I'm not gonna spend my time worrying. Like, it's the special cases like Joker where I bust it down lower.
I just take that scholastic approach where it's like a 60's a D, which to me is like passing and fine,
Right.
but 50's bad. Like
A Gentleman's 6.
yeah. No, but like what
I mean, there are movies I've rated like 1 star where objectively I just love watching, like Revenge of the Sith. You turn that on, I'm gonna watch
dude.
it. I think the movie's so fucking funny.
I love that movie. I love that movie.
that's objectively a bad movie that I love,
Realistically, most Star Wars is fucking bad.
Yeah. Well, Revenge of the Sith is good.
Revenge of the
No,
Sith
but-
has some of the
but
funniest lines.
Star Wars fans are always like, "Oh my god, I love Star Wars," but only like this one. So
Yeah.
like, that one's bad. But you have to watch them.
That's why I don't consider myself a Star Wars fan, because like 90% of it is garbage that I don't like. Like, I like the old movies, and then I love ironically watching Revenge of the Sith just because I think it's so fucking funny.
You know what
You
I
were the
did?
chosen one, Anakin.
You know what I did? Because like growing up, one of my favorite movies was the Clone Wars. I watched that like a year or two
That
ago.
movie's so fucking bad.
Holy fuck! I was
It's-
such a stupid kid because that
it's-
movie is so painful to sit through.
It's crazy that Ahsoka went from like such an annoying fucking like, oh my god, like chop
Died.
this kid's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like actually like a character that people like.
Yeah, she's live action now too. She was hanging
Right.
out with Baby Yoda.
I don't like that, honestly. They can stop doing that. They can stop making everything so interconnected.
I'm not watching this shit, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
I
how
watched
will you
the first 2
How will you
Mandos.
understand everything?
I won't, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Disney has gotten really annoying with like trying to interconnect everything where it's like, well, now, the Doctor Strange is in, WandaVision and Wanda is in the Fantastic Four and
I'm not
fucking
watching all the
John
fucking shows.
Krasinski.
Yeah, I cannot do it.
no, I haven't watched a single one because it's
I
like,
watch
it
I
sounds
watch
like a headache.
I watch Moon Knight just because I'm a big fan of the comics, and it was
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah,
pretty
sure.
good. It was good.
mean, it's Oscar Isaac. He's kind of
yeah. It
gonna
was
knock
kind
it out
of.
of the
It
park.
didn't really like. He wasn't connected to the rest of it, which is nice. Like,
No, yeah.
I liked What If. I thought that was fun, but the rest of them I've gotten maybe like 2 episodes in before I'm like, I don't care. There's so much I haven't done yet in life that why would I spend
to
8 hours?
me, Marvel shit is so weird as like someone who grew up reading that shit, because it's like the shit that gets popular with the fans. It's like it's not the shit that's popular in the comics. You know what I mean? Like now we think Marvel like the big guy, like Iron Man, Captain America, like those are the faces of Marvel.
But it's
But
like
before these
Spider-Man.
movies came out, like no way, it was like Spider-Man and like Hulk,
The X-Men.
Wolverine, yeah.
X-Men, yeah.
But now it's like the really popular characters, like Scarlet Witch has her own TV show. Like what? Like
who the fuck cares?
huh?
Yeah.
Like you told me that before. Like I'd be like no way. Like Loki, like he's
I
random.
know.
Not that they're like minor characters, but it's just like you never think like, oh, Bucky and Falcon got their own show before like Hulk TV show or something.
Before that we have like a good Superman movie.
Oh, exactly. I think Man of Steel was okay. It was okay.
We're not Man of Steel fans on this podcast.
Yeah, we had
We tore that shit to shreds.
Yeah, we had an existential. I had an existential crisis on Man of Steel.
Yeah,
it was better than Batman versus Superman.
I mean, that's not hard.
That was, oh my god, Jesse Eisenberg is so annoying about it.
Yeah, that was painful.
I think that might
monkeys over here. There's 12 monkeys
Wait,
over
hold on.
here.
No. Blowhorn, I forgot I made a referendum.
Yeah,
for
you
never mentioning.
you made a rule.
Fuck, I have to cut all that out anyway. I made a rule that if we reference the Snyderverse, I'm cutting it regardless of how good the bit is. We're talking about fucking Jacques Tati's Playtime.
Yeah, back to that. So what kind of did this leave a big like legacy? Like did it change did it inspire other shit or
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I didn't see any sort of cultural changes. It's always listed by directors as their favorite movie, but
this movie is really weird because it has such like a weird cult following and it has no cultural impact. Like it flopped. It didn't really get released in the States.
yeah, like could you have gone to go see it back in the day?
I don't think so. I think that was part of one of the production issues is that why it also did so poorly is that it wasn't, again, also the production company didn't want to fucking make this movie because it was over budget and over time so frequently. I think they were just like released it in France and then it just fucking died over there. So that's I mean, I don't think, and I also think even if this had like a very fucking broad release, it wouldn't have taken off because it's
people would not have gone to see this.
You can't bill this movie. You're gonna. What would the promo be? One shot from the next.
One of the problems.
In a world where technology is silly.
One of the problems with distribution. So there's actually something about that with the distribution. One of the reasons it flopped is that Jacques Tati didn't want it playing in any theater that wasn't equipped with like a 35 millimeter or 70 millimeter projector and stereoscopic sound. And it's like so few theaters had that.
Yeah, Jacques kind of a fucking idiot. Like I think he's creatively.
He's an artist.
You know, I think he is an artist, but he's an idiot. You know.
He's just a silly, goofy guy. Honestly,
he is. He makes and well, that's in the weeds, but like yeah, it's just dude.
Imagine watching this with the 2023 fifth grader.
Holy fuck!
Like how long do you think they could physically watch it?
I think they wouldn't make it past the intro.
That'd be a fun endurance show. Like make modern fifth graders watch classic surreal movies.
Like bet on it and see how long they could fucking 8.5. Yeah.
Will you win the $1 million? Like sixth graders
watch
watching
8.5 longer than a fifth grader.
Yeah, no, none of them have an attention span, and it's not their fault.
I don't have an attention span anymore.
I know. I
struggled to watch this movie, and I liked it.
I know. Just turning on the movie, I was just like, I'm gonna have to watch a movie.
2 hours.
That's just exhausting.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, by myself.
I know. I'm like at the point where it's like 3-hour podcast. Yeah, I'll listen to that.
I feel weird. I can't watch a movie by myself. I can't like hold myself accountable to like watch it.
I have to do the only way I can watch it by myself is fully like laptop on my chest, right at my face.
No, I can't.
Like it's
I can't
pinning me
watch it.
down.
I need a TV. I need the experience. I need
Yeah.
to eat.
What I like to do before I watch anything is I like to like gorge myself on some food so I'm like really lethargic and I'm not gonna get up and do anything. And then I'm just like I put it on my TV and I lock in headphones and I wrap myself in a blanket. Then it's like I'm locked in. I'm like, okay, I don't want to move. We're
I had to
stuck.
go charge my phone in the other room to make sure I didn't like.
Yeah.
God, we're a bunch of dummies.
Yeah, we're fucked.
No, it's not our fault. Like this is
We're less fucked than Gen Alpha. Is that what?
Gen Alpha, yeah.
We're Gen Z. Barely.
Yeah, we're Gen Z.
We're like the
Gen
old
Z.
men of Gen Z.
I love saying Gen Z.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we had 3G, not 5G.
Back in my day, you had to wait a whole 2 minutes of ads.
Yeah, I got Wi-Fi. A Wi-Fi hate. All right, on that note, let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
So, Deckard, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
Oh, good movie! Wow. Number one.
Jima. Gabe, what? Or no, I'll go. Gabe, this
You
is
go.
Yeah, like I said, it's a real I get it movie. It's a real I respect it. Like, yeah, you made a good movie. Good for you. You did the job. Not gonna probably watch this 5 times a year.
No, probably never again.
Glad I saw it again. You know,
Yeah.
I could write a paper on it, but I'm not gonna turn it on at the sleepover.
I can feel smart when I tell people I've seen it.
Exactly. This is the whole podcast is just us watching movies to feel smart.
Yeah.
And I'm giving this one a 84 out of 102.
Good grade. Yeah, this movie makes me feel pretentious whenever I bring it up, but it's still one of my favorites, and I have to deal with the fact that I'm probably a snob. I don't care. It's good. Do I watch it a lot? Fuck no. God damn it.
Decker just changed his head to a panda.
Yeah, fuck. No, so like is this a movie you're gonna bust out once a year? No, this might be a movie you watch like every few years, but you're like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this. Fuck off, Decker. You distracted me. Are you like owing, or is that just the thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just opening my it gets my tongue too.
All right, on that note, this movie's good and you better watch it, or you're a little stupid baby
Or
Zack Snyder
If you
fan.
don't get it, you're dumb.
Yeah, basically.
The takeaway you should take away from every episode is that if we like a movie and you don't, you're either A, dumb, or B, lying to sound cool.
Or you're a Zack Snyder fan.
Or just Zack Snyder.
Hey.
You know he watches these just like seeding. Like, I'll get you.
Dude, when we were covering Snyder, I kept having recurring nightmares that Zack Snyder confronted me at my job.
Dude, you that's a weird dream.
That would be hard. What if he was just like, I worked really hard on that movie.
I would feel bad, honestly. I would be like, I'm so sorry. Honestly, you're right.
I would bully Zack Snyder.
I would love to get him on the podcast. That's the be all end all.
You should invite him.
Yeah, just send him the feeler. I'm sure he's never gotten that before.
Show him to his house.
What? You know what? I think this would work if I was like, hey, Zack Snyder, if you can't deadlift more than me, you got to come on my podcast. And I think I could make him come on. I think he would take that challenge.
You guys should do the old fashioned like boomer. Just show up and give him an application. Just like show up to his house. A microphone.
With that, like, okay, Zach, what do you think?
And a table, yeah.
Yeah, we bring the podcast to him.
Well, wait,
he's doing his yard. He's yelling at you. You get some of that audio in there featuring Zack Snyder.
Remix it to be like, I love your podcast.
No, wait, what we could do on his next, like, whenever he's doing his next movie, we could like just like try to harass him on set and like sit outside the set with a microphone and be like, Zach, whenever he comes out.
Yeah, these are all options.
Thomas and I did that outside of Rufus Wainwright's tour bus, and we got yelled at by his like security. We're like, Rufus.
What was it like to be in Shrek? Yeah, so thank you for listening to Criteria Cast. This is a bold new era for us and already much more enjoyable than talking about stinky Snyder movies. Be sure to come back next week. Give us 5 stars. I don't know what you do on the various platforms you listen to, but share it with everyone you can, even if you hate them, especially if you hate them, share it with them. Maybe send them one of our worst episodes. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you didn't get this far, fuck you. And we'll see you at the movies.